thank Garrett and the team here for introducing me, for welcoming me as well. I know you've got a good conference, and on the way over, I was noticing just how much the sidewalks are congested around Capitol Hill. Folks are coming for conferences, and so it's a busy time for members of Congress this week and next. So we have a very exciting start to the 119th Congress. The Transportation and Infrastructure Committee hit the ground running with a great infrastructure story that America is building. And in our first three committee hearings so far this year, we've heard testimony that Congress did its job 4 years ago by providing transformational investment in roads, bridges, transit, rail, airports, and ports. The result, we are closing the infrastructure needs gap, delivering nearly $600 in savings each year for American families, according to the American Society of Consulting Engineers, and upgrading, building, and rebuilding the infrastructure that our country needs to remain economically competitive. And that's where we have already started. And my message for the last 2 years as ranking member of the full committee has been, these investments are working. And for the next 2 years, my message is, let's keep it going. Keep transportation safe. Keep transportation in good repair. Keep transportation resilient. Keep transportation accessible. Keep transportation ready for future freight and passenger demand. Keep it going. The authorization for the surface transportation programs expires in this Congress. Not this year, but September 2026. Which in Congress time is tomorrow. Democrats on the committee, we stand ready to be strong partners in delivering another bipartisan infrastructure bill. And we understand how the work of our committee impacts jobs, the economy, supply chains, safety, mobility, opportunity, and the quality of life for the women and men that we represent. And so I'm committed to working with Chairman Sam Graves from Missouri, as we have been working together over the last several years, and working with the administration to enact another strong bipartisan bill. So transportation means jobs, and the infrastructure dollars that Congress provides support jobs that cannot be outsourced. They are jobs with good wages. They are jobs with good benefits. And they are jobs with safe working conditions. These private sector jobs in construction, in engineering, in transit, in trucking, aviation, rail, the maritime industry, and all these industries are important. And the latest jobs report showed that unemployment is at 4.1%, evidence that these investments are working. As well, the bipartisan infrastructure law spread the benefits throughout the country. 90,000 projects are underway right now in every congressional district across the country, according to the Association of Transportation and Road Builders, or ARTBA. So AASHTO members, you know these projects are working because state DOTs directly control $300 billion of the funds that support these projects and select which projects get funded and built, depending on your state. In my state, Washington State, the legislature has a bigger hand than perhaps other states. But that said, over 90% of BIL, highway, and bridge dollars go out by formula, including about $6 billion to my state of Washington State. And now for the committee, we've started gathering priorities from stakeholders for reauthorization. The committee heard AASHTO's testimony last month. It's already been last month. We're already into the second month of the year. See, that's what I mean, like it's tomorrow, people. But your message is loud and clear. States deliver projects quickly and efficiently, and therefore Congress should distribute an even higher percentage of funding through the formula. That was your message. This message has been consistent for decades. What has changed in recent years, thanks to the BIL and to the FAST Act in 2015, is that many stakeholders have reaped the benefits of surface transportation funding that state DOTs have long enjoyed. And we've heard testimony as well, loud and clear, from local elected officials. Many communities are accessing infrastructure dollars for the first time, advancing local safety projects and improvements to move people around their communities that sometimes don't get prioritized at the state level. And they want to keep it going as well. Whatcom County is working on replacing a 60-year-old Lummi Island ferry and building the supporting infrastructure. Tribal governments are addressing major infrastructure needs with this funding. The Nooksack Indian Tribe in my district received $1.24 million to remove a culvert in Jones Creek under the BNSF railway line in Acme. Everyone knows who that is, right? I do. Yeah, there you go, one guy. Yeah, 2 people in this room, me and that guy. But the committee has also heard testimony loud and clear from large and small freight railroads who see public benefits from continued investments. Passenger railroads expanding service and improving accessibility. 100-year-old rail bridges in Maryland and Connecticut will be replaced, and a new high-speed rail service, Brightline West, between Las Vegas and the Los Angeles area is underway, and there are plans for more. And it doesn't need to be a 100-year-old bridge. There's an 88-year-old bridge in my district being replaced that Harry Truman built in 1946 with his own hands. And that's being replaced in Edgewater Creek. So a lot of projects, a lot of local projects as well. On rail, for instance, the Federal Railroad Administration identified 69 corridors in 44 states that are ripe for investment, including the Cascadia high-speed rail line to connect Portland, Oregon, and Seattle, Washington with Vancouver, British Columbia. So the importance of funding certainty is what we consistently hear from you all at the state level. The need for funding certainty is no different than in any other mode of travel as well. For rail, for transit, we've seen the benefits of funding certainty for the first time in the Capital Investment Program, or CIG program, as we call it, where Sound Transit received over $1 billion in CIG money to finish out the Linwood Link rail, providing new light rail service from Snohomish County into King County and down to Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. And thanks to that expansion, Community Transit, one of the bus transit agencies in my district, has launched improvements to its own bus network and providing more frequent service throughout Snohomish County. Port access is improving, and intermodal connections are improving, helping to move goods more efficiently thanks to the funding certainty. And including in my district, again, I'm using my district. I have examples from all over the country, but I only serve 800,000 of these folks, so I'm focusing on that. But the Port of Bellingham is receiving a $17.9 million raise grant to modernize and renovate its shipping terminal, returning the site to a fully functioning multimodal terminal. All these investments made possible by the BIL. So Congress can and will debate changes that may need to be made to grant mechanisms or to policy rules. That's our job in each authorization. And I'm excited about the opportunity as well to continue to support all modes of surface transportation to help move goods and people around our regions and around the country in the best way possible and the most efficient way possible. And another top priority in this reauthorization is safety. More than 40,000 people die in motor vehicle crashes in every single year. It's a safety crisis. I'm pleased to see that safety is also an AASHTO emphasis and a priority for your president, specifically to, quote, improve outcomes towards 0 deaths. And I agree we need to focus on outcomes, and I look forward to hearing your ideas about how to ramp up state accountability over safety outcomes and federal infrastructure investments. But it can't just be DOTs doing that work. Providing funding directly to local communities, including Safe Streets and Roads for All grants, is helping to improve safety and mobility in local areas. The highest rate of safety accidents is on our tribal reservations around the country as well. So we need to be supportive of our tribal governments to increase safety on reservations. But step one in solving all these challenges, right, is what? It's only money. That's all. It's just money. It's to spend that money that Congress has made available, and it's to reauthorize and fund the next version of this bill, which is why this past couple weeks has been a bit of a tumult with the president's rapid-fire executive orders and memoranda over the last few weeks that have put billions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of jobs, and tens of thousands of projects at risk. Now, these actions are sowing chaos locally and across states, causing project delays, which increase project costs. reckless actions, also stopping critical safety projects, and collaborative safety efforts, like the National Safety Council's Road to Zero Coalition, which received a stop order last week. A real head-scratcher of a move if we want to continue to focus on safety. The irony is Congress has handed the administration an unprecedented level of federal funds. Because of the long tail of infrastructure construction, ribbon cuttings and community praise from the $660 billion that Congress made available in the IIJA will occur during this president's term. And I've communicated this to Secretary Duffy and urged him to lean into the bipartisan support that transportation and infrastructure investment enjoys in Congress. I've reminded him how much your agencies, and as well as governors and mayors and county commissioners and city council members and state legislators that you all work for and with, how they all count on these federal infrastructure dollars. And Democrats on the committee have publicly called on the DOT to provide clear guidance on planned actions to implement the president's objectives with respect to infrastructure spending and eligibilities, and to post publicly which grants are subject to and under review pursuant to these executive orders. We ask for this basic information so Congress can assess and respond to attempts to what we in Congress would say is to illegally program or to claw back this funding. Congress approved this money, told administration, the last administration and subsequent administrations to spend the money on these programs. Administrations don't get to choose what Congress don't get to choose to change how Congress directed them to spend that money. So that's what's going on right now a little bit with regard to transportation. But we also want to support our project sponsors who deserve a transparent and open process regarding changes and priorities going forward. Now, I am pleased to say that I've talked directly to Secretary Duffy last week, and he's opened that conversation, which I deeply appreciate. Sean's a former member of the House of Representatives. He knows what the secret handshake is in the House of Representatives. He knows he's going to hear us, be firm and respectful, and then maybe something beyond that if we don't get our way in the House of Representatives. But I've talked to him about it, but it's certainly on your behalf, on behalf of the people I represent, we need to be sure the DOT is being clear about what is going to happen and what isn't going to happen. So you can help the committee and yourselves by keeping elected representatives informed of projects that are either paused or delayed due to recent executive orders and related actions. So you are an invaluable resource. You have a story to tell about putting federal dollars to work and what is at stake if the administration tries to delay or stop work or pull back funding. I urge each of you to use your time on Capitol Hill to talk to your representatives about projects that are already underway and the plans you have to improve infrastructure, transportation infrastructure in their districts, in the individual members' districts. But I want to thank you for your work each day to keep America moving. Sam Graves, the chair, has picked a theme of our hearings called America Builds. We're all in on the Democratic side on this one. It's just a matter of making it, getting through the process to get this bill written, and you can help us do that. And with that, I'm happy to take a few questions. And I do have a hearing at 10. Actually, I probably have time for one question.